I hate you!
Starts with a big smile. And once you have that, it comes down to two things. A love of the outdoors and a love of pizza.
My ideal day would probably be ordering like a Domino's pizza, chilling out, and then playing Overwatch till we both fall asleep on one another, wake up the next day, eat some pancakes. That'd be killer.
He invited me out to dinner, and we went to a really nice Russian restaurant for dinner. And that was fun because it was lots of different kinds of food that I hadn't had before. And then we went to the movies, and we saw the first Conan the Barbarian, which was a blast. I never would have gone to a movie like that by myself, and I didn't think I would like it, but I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try, and it was really fun.
And at this party, we were playing a parlor game where we were to write down, in this case, the name of our least favorite actor or actress on a piece of paper, fold it up, and put it into a jar. The jar was then passed around the room and filled up with other names of other people's least favorite actors or actresses. And at a certain point in the game, a piece of paper that had my handwriting on it was pulled out of the jar, and it was revealed what I'd written. I'd written Nicolas Cage. And my wife, upon hearing this, said, "I hate Nicolas Cage too." And I said, "You hate Nicolas Cage? I hate him." And at that point, we knew we were right for each other. Hearts shot out of our eyes, and we were madly in love. I asked her out on a date, and the rest is history. We're now married and have 2 kids and live in the suburbs.
So I have a deep personal conviction that Whitney Houston is the single greatest vocal talent of all time. This is such a conviction that has actually been a problem in relationships. I've actually broken up with women over this debate. So where did Mrs. Miller stand on Whitney Houston? Mrs. Miller loves Whitney Houston, and I love Mrs. Miller.
It had been raining, and there was a huge puddle in the Taw's courtyard, the quad, and he splashed me by accident. So I splashed him back, and he splashed me back, and it became this whole water fight thing. And then we were late for our tech lab, and by the time we got down there, we were soaking wet and giggling and in hysterics and having the best time. And I didn't care because he was amazing, and I was having so much fun.
I know I found the one when I realized that our taste in music and food and our interest in hobbies were all pretty much the same, and our goals and dreams in life really kind of aligned together. I love you, Jess.
How did I know he was the one? I didn't speak a lot of Spanish. He didn't speak a lot of English. We could only communicate in a very basic way. We found we didn't need language to communicate. We did that by dancing. And we went to Club Ramon Antigua in Quito and danced to live salsa music all night, and that was the beginning.
We were traveling around Africa. I was actually taking her to a crocodile study in Botswana, and for whatever reason, our card stopped working in Botswana. We had no money, and yet she was still in pretty good spirits. She was still happy to be there and happy to be with me, and I thought that was pretty rare, that I would end up with someone who would go to Africa with me and not be afraid when we became homeless.
Tell us the actual story.
With crocodiles.
I was at the first read-through for An Empty Plate in the Café des Grands booth. My future wife walked in, and she had a bad-looking leather jacket on that had zippers everywhere, and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
I knew Nicole was the one for me when I was talking with a friend in the library at UVA, and this really attractive girl with this gigantic cloud of dark hair came walking toward me. My IQ dropped like 60 points.
So we were walking on the beach, and he had the cutest feet. And I said, oh, that's the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with.
It was natural. Like, the conversation never had awkward breaks like that, or awkward silences. She laughed at all my jokes, which, you know, is important.
I laughed a lot with Michael. That when things went wrong, I could still laugh. And he always found a way to lighten the mood and I just wanted to be around that all the time.
I knew the minute I met him.
Okay. How so?
And he made me laugh really hard. And that was it.
Probably when he asked me out and would laugh at what I said. I don't think he's funny, though. I tell him that all the time. Just actually 2 weeks ago, our furnace went out, and I was throwing him a surprise birthday party, and he gets really excited. He goes, "You know what? My party? It's going to be a housewarming party." And I said, "That's not funny. You can't say that." But then I told everyone who was coming to say that first to ruin his joke.
I look at her, she looks at me, she looks back to her uncle and she says, "Hey, this is the guy I'm gonna marry." Okay. Turns around, looks at me, we sit down on the couch like that, we chat and chat and chat. That visual embrace with our eyes, and those eyes that she had, oh, they were like doe eyes, you know, like a deer, just radiant.
My ideal date, gosh, probably a nice walk in the park, just chatting and enjoying each other's company, on like a slightly cool day, so she needs to use my jacket.
Pretty much anywhere with chicken fingers or chicken nuggets. So like any restaurant that has a kids menu.
Well, basically when I find out her bank account.
And I turned to him at one point and said, "When we get married, we're not getting married in the summer." And he said, "Yeah, I think we should talk about that. I'm never getting married." And I said, "Okay, then we should break up because I know that I want to get married." And he did one of the humana, well, we don't have to be too hasty about this. And that was in August, and we were engaged in October.
My husband told me that his parents didn't agree with interracial dating or marriage, and he promised me, he said, "When it comes to my family, I will pick you every time." And he said that even if it meant he would never speak to his family again, it wouldn't matter as long as we were together. And that's when I knew I was in love. And so true to that promise, my husband and I got married in 2015, and his parents did not attend our wedding, and they haven't spoken to Michael in almost 6 years. But in the end, we're together, and we're in love, and we have a happy ending.
So I was asked to go on a blind date, and I was horrified. I said, "No, I'm not going to go out with a blind guy." And then changed my mind because it wasn't very nice to think that way, and end up going to a party for New Year's at somebody's house. And my now current husband, he's the only one. My husband showed up, and he was implied, so I was delighted, and we had a great time.
So I wooed him by playing basketball, and then I dunked on him, and he was really impressed, and that's how I won him over.
So on the first date with my husband, he was late to my house. He drove past our driveway 3 times. Then we went to get dinner, but the Denny's, the really only restaurant in our town to eat at, was packed, and we were already late. So then we tried another restaurant, also packed, because we were already late. And so we ended up getting sandwiches at Sheetz, a gas station, and eating outside of the gas station for our first date dinner. And then we went to see Horton Hears a Who. So fun and exciting first date.
We met at the bar, and we drank over Coke and Diet Coke, and we talked about ourselves and family, and in general, whatever. But that was a long time ago. Now we've been married for 27 years plus 2. 2 was being engaged and getting knowing as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Marriage back to that time is not my priority in my life. And he said, my mom is very ill, like really weak, always sick. And her biggest wish is she can see her last son to get married before she passed away. Don't you think it's weird? How could you marry somebody because somebody tell you, my mother is really sick. She could die any time. She really wanted me to say. Then you said, oh, okay, I will marry you. Are you gonna do that?
How long did she live after you were married?
24 years.
The ideal spouse for me is someone who is very optimistic, happy, is able to brighten your day, and is very artistic, a very artistic person who just has a lot of spirit.
My Valentine's Day plans, probably go back to my house, dim the lights, turn on my Xbox, and play GTA.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Greetings. This is Lieutenant Coach Bond of the Anti-PDA Corps. I'm the one that keeps PDA at an all-time low here on campus at GCS. But every February 14th, PDA skyrockets, and nothing makes me more insane than when the students of this school betray our most precious core values. No PDA!
Welcome to prom.
Of course.
No! Give me this. Unacceptable. Get out of here, you respond seconds to me right now. Another one saved. I see you, Hans.
Oh my God. Oh, you good?
Put that down.
I'm just helping her up with this
She can help herself. There is no PDA allowed at this school. Oh, hey guys.
No,
You're coming with me. Let's go.
Are you serious?
I got it. That you think you're such a ladies' man, you're coming with me. We're gonna have a nice long talk with Miss
I didn't even do anything.
You know I caught you.
Did you check the staircase for actual PDA at least?
PDA in the stairwell. That's hilarious. Let's go.
That's the sound of the police.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Mr. Helm, and you're here with Modern Cuisine, and it's our Valentine's Day special. Can't wait to get cooking. Since it's V-Day, I'm here to cook up something special for you and your significant other. Probably won't be this. So let's get cracking. Today we're making Valentine's Day cookies. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but cooking is love. It's a language of love. And I'm about to show you a little bit about that language. I like to start out with a base for my cookies. I like to use a little bit of graham cracker. About a half cup. Next, a little bit of honey for your honey. But make sure when you get that together, you've got to beat this up, all right? Otherwise it won't taste very good. My mom used to tell me back on the farm that when Dad comes in from outside, he always wants a good cookie.
Ready?
Next up is we need a little flour. Kick it up a notch. Bam! Bam! One thing I've learned over the years is that in order to have a good date on Valentine's Day, you need a fortune cookie to add into this. If I can get this out here. Open it up. Little bite. Throw it in. The fortune also must go in. Sprinkles. I don't want you guys to forget, you gotta stay hydrated when you're cooking. A little water, mix it up a little bit, and then spoon it in, because if you pour it in too quickly, the cookies will set up too fast. We're gonna spoon it in here, crunch it up, and we're almost there to your special Valentine. And we're gonna make your night sparkle. Now that we got all our ingredients ready, we're gonna throw this right in the microwave. While you guys wait, you can look at these. Voila. Jeez. Thanks guys for joining me today on my show, Modern Cuisine with Helen. Please like and subscribe below, and if you use my special code, Cookies for Love, you get 10% off.
People always ask me why I hate Nicolas Cage, and it boils down to this. There's a scene in National Treasure where he does the following thing. He stares at a dollar bill and says, "The dollar bill, I think, is trying to tell me something."